I want to make another video. I think I mentioned that I would do this at some point, that I would talk about in the box or software effects versus pedals and effects that you basically plug through between your guitar and your amp. Now, the thing that In the Box offers is more precision with its automation lanes and all this. You can really set up some complex effects relationships, whereas I find going old school with some old style stomp boxes or pedals, as they might be called, as they may also be referred to. The old school approach can be more chaotic and random, with less control. I mean, obviously, when you're in the box and you can play something back over and over and over and over again, you can isolate a part of the song and loop it around and work on the effects just for that section over and over again. Obviously, you're going to have more precision when you can prepare everything in advance before mix down. Whereas operating with a bunch of old school pedals, everything is kind of on the fly. Now, you could do some prep work there too. For instance, gathering in the tempo of a given song that you're about to do and setting the delay to kind of go along with the tempo of the song. Now, you could take it to an extreme. You've got someone like St. Vincent who uses some combination of Eventide units and other units that can all be MIDI controlled, and the performances are all like super tight. There must even be a click track somewhere in there that the drummer's hearing or somebody's hearing. There must be all these points, action points, where in the time continuum, the performance time continuum, where things are supposed to happen. They must all be on the same page, in that group somehow. She and all of her backup musicians. And there's probably some kind of computer operator or three behind stage making sure that it all goes smoothly, but she uses a lot of effects and it's not really spontaneous from what I'm hearing. It's very much pre-planned, like what effects are going to happen at what place and time during a given performance. So there's that approach, and it's kind of a combination of in the box and out of the box. So there's this kind of conundrum or something between your old school, basically pedals with an on-off switch and a few parameter knobs, versus working in the box and being able to precisely arrange all of your effects as they pertain into the piece. Now, I imagine in times past, even before Host software, which is a virtual recording studio, that they had automation on some of the big old mixing boards, and they even had a way of doing it by hand. Some of the best engineers could, change things on the fly during a mix down and keep doing that till they got it right. So there's all kinds of approaches. What I'm trying to say is the pedal approach. Just put a chain of pedals together, old school pedals without LCDs, LEDs. Basically just on-off buttons with knobs, all in a string. That can be more, I find it more random. In a way, it's more freeing. It's kind of creative. It's almost like you're surfing a wave. Well, for me, it's almost like surfing or something. Not that I've ever been surfing, but I've been skateboarding, and I hear that's similar. At least that's what they said in Lords of Dogtown. When they invented the urethane wheels with the sealed bearings back in the 70s, they said that felt like a surfboard on cement. So, to me, it's almost like skateboarding, which they said is like surfing. So it is kind of like surfing. And you can put some forethought into using pedals too, simple pedals like I just described. Obviously, you have also that St. Vincent approach with more sophisticated pedals They can be controlled by a computer or an operator off stage or something. Uh, but let's just leave it at simple pedals. To me, that's, especially without a lot of pre-planning or pre-setup, just kind of hitting that button and then seeing what it sounds like, and then getting down in there and dialing in the sound right on the fly. That's like surfing. It's very immediate. And it can be prone to crashing or, mistakes. But it's a lot of fun. At least for the player. I don't know how fun it is for the listener. But with a little pre-planning, you can be good to go as you go from song to song. You can have it written down somewhere what you're going to do with each pedal on each song. Anyway, they are two fundamentally different approaches. Your in the box and your pedals, they can be, but they have some overlapping functionality and processes and usage and all that. So it's two sides to the same coin, I guess. But one of the points I'm trying to make is I was a big in-the-box guy. I was using Glitch a lot, the Blue Glitch. And I was using soft sims. I was recording through, consumer level or semi-pro analog to digital converters. They're not $10,000 converters, right? Or $1,500 converters. They're basically $150 converters. 2 channels, so you're paying about $75 per channel. But I was recording through that and into a computer, and then using soft sims like Lepu Pulin. I really like what he was doing. I still load those up from time to time. And using the Blue Glitch. I used Glitch so much that I actually bought the Blue Glitch 2.0 because I had been using the freeware 1.3 for so long. I felt like I should give that guy some money. I sent some money off to Lepu too. I probably should send him more, considering how much I used his amp sims. There's also, as far as guitars go, and I don't know if I've spoken about this, but those Joyo pedals, the California sound, the AC tone, the British sound, the American sound, that's like an alternative between miking a real amp and using a soft sim. You just play through one of those boxes into your computer. I swear that AC tone sounds great. I haven't really used the British tone or the California sound. I have those 3. I don't think I've used those as much to get an impression. But I've seen videos of, for instance, the British sound through a Behringer PA, and it freaking sounds great. So, when you're talking software versus hardware, there's another, between miking an amp versus a soft sim, going direct and then using a soft sim. There is a third way, besides remiking, which is recording dry, then sending back out later into an amplifier and miking that back in. Leaving that aside, there's that third way of these amp sim pedals, including SansAmp offerings and that sort of thing. But these Joyo ones are really nice. Especially, I thought the AC tone sounded really good. Anyway, you've sort of got this thing. Leaving those aside for a second, you've got the in the box versus hardware effects. And I was a big in the box guy. Now I've been using hardware a lot the last 4 to 8 months, I suppose. And I'm really digging pedals. I didn't think I could be this into pedals, but for instance, I don't know what it is. There's just something liberating about firing up a delay pedal and messing around with it. I'm looking down at my pedals, oh yeah, my little babies. So playing with pedals is a blast. And also, if you were to get into more of a traditional rock band situation, pedals would be the way to go, if you weren't going to go computerized. Now, you could get a laptop with internal software effects, and if you had a zero latency situation, you could use that as your guitar preprocessor. But you know what? I kind of like the older school, where I would consider an amplifier with some stomp boxes to have more reliability than having a laptop in the chain. Especially if you had the stomp boxes with their own batteries without any wall wart or external power. As long as the power were on in the club, your amplifier would keep going. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that could go wrong no matter what gear you're using, but just some pedals and an amplifier is simpler than when you start adding in computers and all that. That's just me. But like I said, I was a big maven for big software effects maven. And now I've come back around to old school pedals and amps and stuff. So it's an interesting sort of conundrum or conversation or whatever. I like it all, I guess. You really do get a lot of precision in the box.